Hello, everyone. Welcome in the next episode of Veterinary Profession Podcast. Our today guest is Dr. Viola Galligioni. She worked in different research institutes and now she is the head of the animal facility in the Neuroscience Institute in Amsterdam. Hello, Viola.
Hello, Zuzanna. Hello, everybody. Thanks for this opportunity. It's a really great experience what you're doing. I wish I had it when I was young as a vet student. So congratulations, first of all.
Thank you so much. First, I would like you to tell us your name and surname. We already know it, but yeah, once more time, tell me please, which university did you finish? Tell a little bit about your work history and your current position, please.
Sure. So my name is Viola Galligioni. I'm originally Italian. I studied at the veterinary school in the University of Bologna in Italy. And there I did also my PhD. And my PhD was on infectious diseases and zoonosis. And then during my PhD, I did 6 months of, let's say, kind of an Erasmus programs for PhD students in South Africa. And then after that, I went on a postdoc. I moved to a different university in Italy, and there is where I actually started really working with the laboratory animals as a postdoc. And we had fish and xenopus, which is a type of frog. It was the University of Trento. It was a department of biology. And then from there, I basically started working more and more with the laboratory animals. And I became the head of the animal facility there. We opened also a facility for mice. And then after some time, I moved to Czech Republic, to Brno, at the International Clinical Research Center at the FNUSA. And there I was also the head of the animal facility. We were mainly working with the pigs. We had some small projects on rodents. And then after 3 years, I moved to Dublin in Ireland and Trinity College in Dublin. And I was the facility manager at the university at Trinity College Dublin. And we had a variety of species. We had mice, rats, some chicken, and also some rabbits sometime. And last year, 1 year ago, I moved here to Amsterdam to the Netherlands Institute for Neuroscience. And here I'm currently the head of the animal facilities, and I'm also the designated veterinarian, which is basically a recognized position by the European Directive 63 from 2010, which is the directive that is basically covering all the animals used in research. So I'm working both managing the facilities, but right now I'm also the designated veterinarian. So I do daily work with the researchers and animals.
Wow, I'm impressed right now. Your experience is like huge. Oh my God.
Well, it's not huge, but I'm really a proud European. So I'm really happy that I had the opportunity to move around Europe.
Yeah, I totally understand that. But tell me, why did you choose to study veterinary medicine?
So since I was a little girl, I really loved horses. And nobody in my family had this love for horses. So it was okay, well, this is something new in the family. So I was riding horses, I was doing show jumping. So I entered the veterinary faculty because I wanted to become an equine vet. Specifically an equine surgeon. But then during the years, it changed a little bit. And I remember on the third year, I fell in love with the infectious diseases, specifically with viruses, because, you cannot see them, but they do so much. And I think we now know, especially
Yes.
after 2 years of the pandemics, what they can do. So I did my thesis, because in Italy you have to do a thesis for before graduating, and then I did my PhD in that field, specifically in that field. So yeah, that was interesting. That was something new for me. So I'm still a vet, but the field completely changed, switch from what I thought I would do in my life. So yeah, that's what happened.
Wow, I mean, I feel really close right now to you because I'm on my final year right now. And when I started vet school, I also was thinking that I'm going to be a surgeon. I always wanted to be a surgeon. In my third year also, I started to work on infection disease and I'm planning my PhD in infection disease. So
You see?
Yes.
We can relate. But
Yeah, that's
I
true.
think it's nice that, I mean, vet school, you have so many subjects. And I mean, when I entered vet school, I didn't know much. I didn't know anything. And then, you know, you have all these fields. And also what I'm doing now is completely different. So that's, I think that's the beauty of vet school.
Yes, totally agree. But how did you get into your field of veterinary medicine? Because right now I know it wasn't always your dream to work in this field. So
No.
yeah, how it was done?
Yeah,
How,
it's actually strange because so when I after I finished my PhD, I thought, okay, I want to continue doing research. And that's why I went to another university for a postdoc. It was still in Italy, but okay. And then there, starting working with animals, it was also a little bit of, you know, luck because we didn't have a facility. So when I arrived, we basically built the facility for fish and frogs. And we didn't have technicians. So I was the only one doing the experiments with fish. Because my lab was starting doing that. And so I was taking care also of the fish. And then, you know, by having daily experience with fish and frogs in that case, somehow I thought, okay, this is something I like. But I have to recognize also that at the same time, I felt a little bit of pressure, and I thought, okay, I'm never going to be a great scientist, a great researcher. So that could be actually a good plan, just taking care of, well, not just, but taking care of the facilities and, you know, run the facilities and everything that is involved in that. And then my PI at that time was the director of the department, and he said, okay, we need anyway somebody who needs to take care and to follow, you know, professionally this. And he told me, do you want to do that? And I said, okay, I don't have any experience in running a facility, but yes, I mean, I think I would like this. And then, of course, I didn't have any background. So I started to, you know, to study, to go to conferences, to go to training schools specifically on lab animal facilities. And then I fell in love with that. So I really like doing this. So yeah, my journey is a little bit up and downs, but yeah, it's a field that I think it needs attention, and I think we vets can do really well in this field.
okay, okay. And I wanted to ask because I guess at my university in Poland we don't have such things during our studies. So, do you think is your field covered in the general veterinary curriculum worldwide? Maybe in Italy is different comparing to Poland.
Yeah, so I don't know how it is right now. I know a little bit about the situation in Italy because I still have colleagues, I still have friends working also at the university. And 20 years ago, well, my goodness, I'm so old. 20 years ago, when I was doing my university, we didn't have any curriculum on laboratory animals. And that was partially also intentional because, you know, laboratory animals is a hot topic. It's also very controversial. And as far as I know, in Italy right now, at the general curriculum, so to graduate, there are no many courses, if not courses at all, on laboratory animals. And when we talk about laboratory animals, you know, it's not only about anatomy and physiology of rodents, but also everything that is related to that: anesthesia, analgesia, pathology. So I don't know how's the situation right now, and I don't know how's the situation in the European countries. But for sure, when I was studying, there was nothing, and that's also another. You know, I really had to start from scratch, but it's something that, yeah, I like. So.
Okay, I understand that. So for our people who are going to watch this, I know in Poland we also don't have this as any object during our studies, any subject. But I know that in few countries, for sure in Vienna, students are able to choose additional course to learn a little bit
Okay.
about lab animal. But I think it's only in few universities, and it depends, I guess, on the region or the city, on the
Yeah.
university. So yeah.
Yeah, this is true for the general studies. So to graduate, then you have a lot, well, maybe not a lot, but in each country you have postgraduate opportunities, specific specialization on laboratory animals, because this is also something that European directive was, I think, trying to do. You need to be a specialized vet to work in that field. And for sure, there are at least two colleges that are addressing the let's say one is the animal welfare, also laboratory animals, which is the European College of Animal Welfare, yes, and the other one is the European College of Lab Animal Medicine. So these are, as I said, postgraduate courses, but as far as I know, yeah, as you said, it depends really on the country for the general studies.
Okay, so even if during your studies you didn't have subject about laboratory animals, do you think that your time at university prepared you enough for veterinary work in your field?
Yes, I think that we are exposed to so many different, fields, subjects, and all of them are important, from anatomy, physiology, clinical medicine, surgery, to hygiene and, meat control or whatever. That this gives us the opportunity to be flexible enough to enter any field where a vet is needed. I always make this example. So with the European directive, not only there are specific rules for mammals and for fish, but also for cephalopods, like octopus, squids, and cuttlefish. And I remember that I read about these species only, or I studied these species only when I was studying food hygiene, because as a vets, we need to, prove that the animals that are going on the market, in this case on the fish market, can be eaten by people, so they are safe enough. And well, then in this case, now because they're protected by the directive, and I had a brief experience also to work with cephalopods in a lab animal setting, so in a research setting, that's completely different. But still, I had some kind of, information that could help me. I didn't know much about the anatomy of an octopus, but I knew what was important, or better, I knew, I had in my mind that I studied that, so I had to refresh it, because of course you don't remember everything.
Yes.
But I think we have the seeds to be able to address these parts.
Yeah, that's really true. Yeah, I never thought about this in this way, but yeah, right now I think I can agree with you, and I totally understand your point of view.
Yeah.
Also, I wanted to ask, do you have any mentor to guide you on your path? If yes, who was it and how did he or she guide you?
Yeah, so as it was said in previous podcasts, at my time, we didn't have mentors. I did my university between 2000 and 2006, so it's not long ago, but still it's 20 years almost. So when I graduated, no, there was no such a thing as a mentor. We had the possibility as students to get to ask for tutors, but I think it was a little bit different. It was not, it was more to help during the studies, not to mentor you in your career. Since I entered this field of laboratory animals, because I felt, okay, I know nothing, I really need to, to learn from the best. I started having either emails, discussions, or to ask for, for comments or for inputs to other vets in the field who have been in this field for a long time. So they are, you can do this by, for example, going to conferences or training schools. And usually I have to say that the vets in our field are kind of humble, so they like to help either youngers or people with less experience. So I don't have a specific mentor, but I think that the whole community is helping, all the members to do things better for the animals.
Okay, I think you already answered a little bit to my next question, but maybe you would like
Oh,
to add
sorry.
something. No, don't worry about that. Don't worry. But how can students gain the most experience in your field? What would you say to those looking for a career? Expect going to conference and trying to network a little bit with other veterinarians. Do you have any other tips?
Yes, so especially for students who don't have, courses on laboratory animals in their field, in their university. I think the ideal, just to know if this could be a field of interest for them. If you have an animal facility, you must have a designated veterinarian who could be hired by the university or by the research center where you work or where you're doing an internship, or it could be, let's say, a contractor, so it's somebody from outside. But I'm sure that person will help, and this is for free. And as I said, usually people, we are all very busy, but I think it's in our interest to create also more knowledge in the generation that is coming to do this job. Conferences, training schools. I mean, even this podcast is very useful because not many people know about this field. So conferences and training schools are usually expensive, and not always you have, they are offering sponsorships or, fundings for students. So I think that the easiest way would be just to get in touch with such a vet in the animal facility, if you have one. Usually in every big city or in a big university where they do medicine or scientific subjects like biology or biotechnology, even engineering, because there is also the biomaterial engineering. They usually have animal facilities, and I think it would be useful just to get in touch with the vet there, to have some opinions or to ask questions. And then you have the colleges if you want to get more knowledge. And then there is also the European Society of Lab Animal Veterinarians, that is called ESLAV. It's a small community because we are not many vets working with lab animals, but ESLAV is open to everybody who has an interest. So you don't need to work with laboratory animals specifically. And there it's also easy to do networking also by email or, just to get in touch with other people.
That's really useful. And also I wanted to add from myself to our students that don't be afraid to write an emails, and don't be afraid to ask and trying to get in contact, because I know that sometimes we are too shy to start conversation with veterinarians. But I can also agree and say that we don't have to be, because all veterinarians were at the same time during the journey when we are right now. So don't be afraid, just my dear students.
I did the same. I was afraid of asking questions or asking contacts. But as I said, specifically in our field, we are such a small community. We basically know each other. I don't think there are more than maybe 200, maybe 300 vets working with laboratory animals in Europe. So I think it's really easy. And if I don't know an answer, I can put you in touch with somebody who works, for example, on that specific animal model or these kind of things. So please ask. We are humans.
Yes, I'm always telling that networking is okay for everything.
Absolutely.
But where do you see, of course, if you see difficulties for vet students that want to follow your career path?
So again, I think sometimes in some universities, having the basic knowledge, it could be difficult because we are not taught about that. There are no courses. The curriculum is not having those kind of courses. The other thing that sometimes people don't realize is that we work in a specific field. So we work usually in research setting. So it's true that we are working to get sometimes, proper medicines or improvements COVID, I think, showed the importance also of having laboratory animals available. But at the same time, it's okay, I work in that field. But I'm a vet and I'm not there just to save the animal. I'm there to make sure that the model that has been chosen is the right model for that specific, disease or pathology or whatever we want to study. So it's not like, okay, the owner is coming with the dog, with the sick dog, and we treat it to make it better. It's challenging because you're really on the balance between, okay, what to do to make sure that the animal is still fine, but at the same time, you cannot just, for example, just give analgesics all the time, because that could impact the study that is done on that animal. So yeah, that's a little bit the limit that that vet students could actually look at and find, because it's not like, okay, I'm there to cure and save the animals.
Yes. Okay. What would you say if you could go back in time and give yourself advice while you were a vet student?
The first thing I would tell myself is go for an Erasmus during your vet studies.
Yes. Yes.
Because I didn't do it. Because I thought, okay, I just want to finish and, then go on and try to find out what's the field I really want to do. But I think the more we are exposed, and I can say it now because I've been working, this is the 4th European country where I'm working. The more we are exposed to different, environments, different people, the more it helps us also to understand what we really want in our life, not only as a vet, but also in our as general life, I mean, as a human person. So that for sure is the first thing. The second thing, I would say, try more opportunities in different fields. So as I said, I enter with a specific dream in my mind, and then I went for something else. I remember I did also, outside from the regular internship, I did a specific internship in surgery. And I realized I didn't like it. So that was also helping. So, if you have all these small opportunities, and I think each university has then their own possibilities, just try. I wish I could have done something, for example, in avian field, just to realize, or to go out for volunteering work in farms, these kind of things, or even do, now that I'm older, I wish I've done some experience with the Veterinarians Without Frontiers, because I think that's also important in nowadays. Yeah, that's to be exposed to as many opportunities and experiences as we could. That's enriching because then it really helps you also to understand what you like, and you are really into the. I think most of these opportunities really give you also the idea of what's the real world outside. So what's the struggles that one day you're gonna face.
Yeah, totally agree. Especially this part with Erasmus, because I am finishing my studies and I really regret that I never go to Erasmus. Of course, I have other opportunities because of IVSA, but yeah, for sure, I can recommend everyone just go abroad for a while.
Yeah, and I regret it also not doing it during the vet school, but that's why during the PhD I really wanted to have an experience abroad. So that's for me, that's these are really, really enriching experiences. So yeah, I agree with you. Let's go for Erasmus.
Yes.